Oh. Yeah, I guess this did happen too. Well, we're out of China. Kind of. So this is where my opinions on this event have to come to full circle, probably. I think the music for this event is good. That is what I will say. Goated collab. I don't know if I can agree there. Is there any hot takes in the Archetypes event at all? Is it a hot take to say it shouldn't have existed? Well, canonically, it didn't exist. Well, then why did it exist in the first place? Sorry, I'm holding back my anger. I know people will cook me, so I must not speak. Not everything needs a reaction. I've been listening to my alpha male classes very well now. And this is the fight against that guy from the village. Were they just called Seaborn? Did they have a name that wasn't that? Fabius. Yeah, sure. Cult of the Deep. That's what it was. Yep. I was very invested in the story for this intervallo, guys. Trust me. You have to believe me. Because I don't believe myself. So like, one of us between us needs to believe me. I give you money, can you elaborate on your thoughts on this Kanto / Mares, remember you called her mid? I will elaborate during her theme, because it's a very long theme. I just need people to not get mad at me, because I am being paid money to elaborate. I didn't want to because I know people will be mad, but I'm now being paid money to elaborate. Do not elaborate. That is 1 cent more to not elaborate. Fair enough, I will not elaborate. You can't elaborate on what side you're on if you donate less than $2. I'm gonna assume that's for the other side. Okay, well, you know, okay. So now elaborate is at, what, $15, I think? And do not elaborate is at 5. This is just a free money trick. Like, I feel bad. This is just, I don't know, I don't want to scam people for money. Okay. It's $25 to not elaborate, so I will not elaborate. Am I allowed to elaborate my thoughts on the song? It's really good. It's a really good song. It's really good. But, like, my thoughts on the song coincide with the thoughts of the character. It's a good song. That's my fucking point. That's it. Elaborate, please? Does that... I think that... Wait, that means elaborate wins. Okay, I need to elaborate quickly. Before people can shut me up. Maris is fucking boring. You people glaze the fuck out of this stupid girl character that just shows up... I don't know why I said that. That makes me sound misogynist. That's not what I meant. She's just a child character who shows up being curious, and then she's like, oh, Don Quixote, tell me about your stories. Which is like, fine. It's fine. It's a dynamic we've seen kind of before where it's like innocent versus Dawn's spirit of justice thing, and she wants to elaborate on it further. And, like, people act like Mares is the best thing to happen to this game. And that's not the fucking case. Mares is a boring character who deserves to get fucking deleted from the game. People act like she is this big deal. Okay, I'm still going, don't you worry, I'm keeping it up. I think that Mares is so unbelievably overhyped. She follows the most generic arc possible. She helps us out. She, like, betrays her cult, but it's so predictable because she gains rapport with us initially when she talks with Don Quixote. Like, is there anything interesting about that arc? Knights? Like, actually, what is intriguing about Mare's character that isn't a predictable plot point? Like, actually, though. $20 to shut up? I think you're outvoted. I think it's even right now, actually. So I'm gonna be neutral on this stuff. Okay. Okay, they got my ass. Talk your shit. I can talk again! She gave us Merceau crumbs. No, she fucking did it! Merceau did! Merceau gave us Merceau crumbs. We got Merceau crumbs in a limited time intervallo. The intervallo is gone. New players don't get that kind of elaboration. You have to look that shit up on YouTube to fully understand Rousseau's Kanto. That's fucking stupid. That doesn't make any sense. Why are we getting lore drops in an optional intervallo that disappears a month later? That's so dumb. This guy's talking about how he's seeing the sunlight, and yet we're getting mare's glaze over that? That's Rousseau being fucking goated. And yet he's held back by the bourgeoisie up there telling us that we can't have our Arknights event. It has to go away! Because we have to have our characters that have their thighs out on our screen, and they're copyrighted. And the whole time I'm just like, who are these people? Am I supposed to care? And you know what? The end of the intervallo tells me I don't have to care. So I don't care. But I have to care because there's real shit in that intervallo. Like we're so talking about the sun. So what am I supposed to think, huh? Who's with me? People act like Mares is the best character ever only because she distorted. If she showed up and did nothing else... Or sorry, let me elaborate, because that's a straw man argument. If she only showed up and was with the sinners and wasn't an antagonist, she would have been more interesting. But instead she follows the same fucking formula. She did the Hohenheim thing, where she distorts. Not quite the same thing, but she's like an ally and then she wants her thing too bad. It's just, it's so generic and obvious what's gonna happen off the very rip if you played any Project Moon story. It makes sense as an introductory story, but as something that's supposed to take place after Canto 8, it's boring. Okay. My neck felt like it was going to burst a little bit there. Anyways. The theme is really good. Thank you for the 50. I'm glad you liked it with the theme. I think it was very fitting. Can you go back to never talking about that again? Yep, don't worry. That was my only time. I'm good. I needed to get that out there, though, because I haven't been able to talk about that fully. And it just really... God, it upsets me seeing people glaze mares specifically for everything. Oh, this shit is way too loud. When I distorted to but didn't die like a dog, common Marezel. Yeah. Didn't get fucking deleted from the game, too. Right, because I said I wouldn't talk about it, but Hohenheim is, like, top 2 Limbus Company characters. And the fact that people, like, glaze mares over Hohenheim, it sends me into a blind rage. Even Mare's glazers moved on from her? No, that's not true. Dude, I see people still talking about Mares. They're like, we miss you so much. No, there's no way you miss her that much. Mare's distortion design is good. Let me actually... Mare's distortion. So let's look up Hohenheim distortion. Oh, wait. Oh, that's interesting. Oh, wait. I'm noticing something. Huh. Well, wait, that's kind of... Those look kind of similar, don't they? I can't have been the only one. I'm sorry. I can't not have been the only one during the intervallo where I was like, that looks like Hohenheim, right? It's not exact, of course, but it's like, it's like a little suspiciously similar. She's a Seaborn, what do you want? I don't know, for her to like not distort and be interesting. I'm sorry, I need to stop. Oh my god, I need to like gag my mouth. I'm sure for the people who played Arknights, it's way better too. I know Sunil really likes the intervallo, and like I went into it trying to like it, but I'm really glad I didn't stream it, because I know I would have just been miserable if I had to deal with chat and play it. I can totally respect if you love Arknights and you love the intervallo. Let's try not to lose my shit. My bosses are swarming around me. Hey, that's good. That's good. Yeah. Yeah, I'm really happy for the people who played Arknights and also really enjoyed the collab. My polls did not go well, by the way. I still only have 2 of the 4 egos. But I know I'm a Limbus Company YouTuber, but just as a person, I could not justify spending money on that. Like, I could have gone live and done a polling stream, but like, dude, I was not gonna drop money on that collab more than I needed to. I already spent like $20 on it. I didn't care about the collab. The egos didn't look all that good. Like, I hit Pity and I got Gregor, and then I was good. Yeah, I have Ishmael and Gregor, obviously. I don't know about this, was collab felt more like an Arknight story, unless like a Limbus intervallo. I wouldn't really know. I mean, I agree in the sense that, like, it did not... It felt like a... Okay. Give me a second, guys. This is less of a rant and more of a genuine critique that I think could have worked out. Hear me out. We're gonna get back to the OST in a second. Hear me out. I think... Did you save Lunacy for the collab? Like a decent amount, not too much. I think that there's really no reason why a collab event that should have... that is meant to be introducing new players into Limbus Company should take place after the most recent Kanto. Not that it explicitly spoiled anything, but it was a weird choice. Especially because it felt like a story that very easily could have taken place like around Kanto 3. So... And I don't think there would have been anything wrong with being like, oh, 6 months ago, or something. Like, anything like that. It spoiled Heathcliff? Did it... I forget if it explicitly spoiled Dawn, because I didn't want to say that for sure. Did it spoil Dawn being a blood fiend, like, explicitly, or did it just show her eating blood in the CG? I don't like that they showed Heath's bat. That bothers me, but it's not that big a deal. Did it explicitly say, like, oh yeah, she's a blood fiend, it's fine? Dawn mentions blood fiends? Yeah, so, like... Okay, because I wasn't sure. I thought maybe it did explicitly mention blood fiends. So, like, genuinely, what were they thinking? Because, like, even if it was not explicitly saying, hey, I'm Don Quixote and I'm a blood fiend, I still think it's weird that if you're an Arknights player, you go into this event and you're like, I'm here for the Arknights collab, so I'm going to do that as soon as I can. Which I think is, like, after Kanto 1, right? It unlocked after Kanto 1. And then you immediately see the Sinners in, like, their more developed state, and then you go back to the story and they're, like, normal again. But I guess, oh, it's all fine because they forgot about it, but, like, why were they acting like that to begin with? So that's weird, right? I just don't... I really don't get why they made it take place post-Kanto 8. It was super strange. Like... I'd say, like... I forget how Yi Song interacts in this interval, but, like, Yi Song has the biggest character shift out of any character post-Kanto, and Heathcliff, actually. His isn't really after his Kanto, but, like, if you play Kanto 1, then you go to the Arknights collab, you're like, wait, who are these characters? Huh? That Merceau Crumbs rant was epic. I think my word's back. Nice to be back in the Limbus tutorials. No problem, man. I just... Unless you're actually familiar with the story, it doesn't spoil shit that most new players will notice. Okay, it doesn't spoil shit, but, like, I still think if you want to be invested in the story, which is assumedly the purpose of a collab event that's meant to bring more people and more eyes to Limbus, why would they do it with characters that have already developed? It's not like they're out of character in that intervallo. They actually act pretty, like, in line with their Kanto 8 selves. But then you have to go back to the Kanto 1, and you're like, okay, this is kind of weird. Like, you either kind of already know the endpoint of where the Sinners end up, or at the very least, it's, like, strange. The best part of its disappearing is that Arknight's own collab events are still kind of available. Does story stick around if you played them? I see. I don't know. They mentioned Sod being alive. I'd have to verify this shit. I don't want to go off of, like what chat says. I haven't thought about that interval in a while. It's just one of the things I thought about when I last talked about it, where, like, hey, why wasn't this just at the beginning of the game? I don't think there'd be any problem with that. Like, I think current players wouldn't have had a problem going back and seeing the Sinners how they used to be. That would have been kind of fun. like, oh, Heathcliff's angry again, and like, Yi-song is like kind of off to himself. It'd be kind of a fun revisiting of the characters with more modern writing, right? And then instead, it's just a thing that takes place after Canto 8 kind of arbitrarily, entirely. In fact, to its detriment, I think. People seem to really like it when I get angry. I don't even know what I kind of blacked out during this. Is that bad to say that I like fully blacked out during that rant? Dude, my neck hurts from like I'm sorry, that was probably really loud. Anger and it's called passion. Yeah, I wasn't really angry. It's passion for the game. And I just think we could have had way better. Anyways. Now we can yeah, and there's no railway. Interesting. Before we move on to the intervallo, man, it's interesting. There's no railway soundtrack in between this and the next canto. That's interesting, huh? I wonder why that is.